Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and emergency, emergency, multiple exclamation points. Why? Well, earlier today, Mel Krell, she sent me a message on Facebook. Hadn't heard from her for a while. She's on the Union of the Unwanted sometimes. She said, Jason, you've got to watch the Cuomo conference today. It's very important. He's outwardly saying build back better. And then I said to her, well, he has used that term in the past, and we have documented it. And I said, he's also come out and said, even though in the very beginning he said, when's this over? When do we go back to normal? When we get a boop boop that works. Okay? That's what he said before. Now remember, when it was Trump's boop boop, it was okay to be skeptical of it. But in this, we're going to show you like this 10 plus minute segment of it. It's no longer a lot. You're not allowed to be skeptical of it at all anymore. Okay? And now the legislation is coming, and we're going to read a Senate bill. And we're going to talk about SUNY and CUNY schools being mandated. So now all students in these school systems are under a medical martial law tyranny. And the Senate bill for these passports, which is more tyranny, is getting voted on tomorrow. So you need to, if you're in New York State, this is it. Make no mistake about it. This is it. I want to say it again. This is it. This is where you make your stand. And if you do not want to make your stand here, it is over. It's over sauce. This is tyranny on a next level. And when you have a guy like Andrew Capo Cuomo, who is not, criminally liable for anything that he's done, not only in the past year plus, but several years through his authoritarian executive orders, the things like catch and release, etc., that are monstrous, just those things alone, okay, are beyond alarming, And you could tell New York was going in the wrong direction, okay, big time, wrong direction. And the funny thing is, he's going to talk about the science and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, really? The science? Because right now, like, for instance, if you want to get science on the boop boop, you want to get that science, you know what you got to do? Well, let me tell you what you got to do. You got to do all sorts of Johnny's nonsense because they just direct you to the CDC website. That's the science now. Okay? They don't provide you with any documentation, right? Not like they used to, right? In other words, when you filed a FOIL or a FOIA for information that New York State has on the claims that are about to be made by the capo himself, baby. You know that guy. You know the capo. Back in the day, okay, if you did that, you'd have to get documents, right? But for instance, when we talk about masks, and I just want to bring this up really quickly. Okay, when you talk about masks and foils, and shout out to William Houston, again, for doing this. But let's take a look at it. They don't have any documentation that masks work, right? So this guy has filed a similar one for the boop boop in New York. And I think it's important we talk about this. Because, Cuomo tells you he's an expert. He's heard the argument of the anti-boop boopers, right? And this is going to be a scary video. I'm not going to lie. And we are going to read this bill, which gets voted on tomorrow, where they want all of your prior boop boop records. Let me repeat that. You see, this Build Back Better means it's medical tyranny on everything. That's what this is. Let me repeat that. It's called medical tyranny on everything. And we're gonna you see this? Medical adult immunization reporting requirements now. For your boop boop pass. Excelsior, Excelsior, Excelsior. We warned you about all this. You know, I'm going to have to go through my Corbett interview where I discussed with him the possibility of all this happening. They fast-tracked it. This is it. Make no mistake. This is the takeover. Naomi Wolf, one of the only people kicking and screaming about this. All right? So here's the deal. Before we play this Cuomo madness, I want to let everybody know that the Rockfin Android app is here. If you search it in the store, you can't find it. If you go follow me over at Twitter or you're on my Facebook, I now have a link to it so you can go directly there. You can finally get the app for Android, make that free Rockfin account, and you can check out, for instance, the entire Mixed Martial Mindset from earlier this evening because things get a little too hot. I actually debated on whether or not I wanted to do the watch along here because the idea, the things that Cuomo says are over the top. In fact, there's a camp out there that wants children to come, but they're not allowed to come, okay, if they get the boop boop. And Cuomo's going to just sign an executive action saying no way there. This is madness. Oh, by the way, you're going to be able to get the boop on the subway now, too. Free. And then they're going to give you a free week pass on Metro. Thumbs up, subscribe, share. You know, I want to thank Odyssey for backing up my entire channel in case we get out of here. We're supposed to lose some strikes in about 48 hours, guys. In about 48 hours, some strikes are supposed to go away on my channel. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we can last here. You know, we're riding it dirty. But of course, Rockfin. At least make the free account. If you do become a subscriber, thank you so much. You get everybody's premium content. I got to throw up some more throwback stuff up there for the premium subscribers. But this is where the free speech is. The app is now available. Get on there and get going. Okay? So, with that being said, let's start playing the capo. This is about 6+ minutes in to his little capo show, right? Remember, I mean, you have legitimate news stories a year plus after I'm calling this guy a gangster. Of what? Of him comparing himself to Sonny Corleone.
Who wanted to get the vaccine, they weren't that anxious, they've gotten the vaccine. And you're working your way through really the population. You have two groups. One I call the youthful, one I call the doubtful.
Now remember, Joe Rogan was completely demonized. Let me repeat that. Completely demonized for suggesting young, healthy people not get the boop boop.
Young people are not getting vaccinated. Why? They were never the focus. They weren't even eligible early on. Everyone said the young people can get it and they're going to be fine. There was a transmission risk. But this whole COVID was introduced as young people really don't have to worry about it. And then we reinforced that when we said the eligibility was by age. The doubtful are vaccine hesitant people. I'm afraid of it. I don't understand it. I don't trust it. Government, I don't trust. I don't trust any of it. I don't want to take a needle. I don't want to put something into my body.
So let's just stop right here. Is government to be trusted? Is Andrew Capo Cuomo and his policies not only regarded COVID, but catch and release to be trusted? Is it a good thing that crime has gone up multitudes? You know, I'm going to bring this story up. I think it's good to bring up. Let me tell you how crazy New York City has gotten. We're talking about the times when I went through, you know, as a little kid in the 80s. It's probably worse than that. Okay? How about this? Woman and small child shot in broad daylight, NYC. Oh, 2 days ago. Wow. 2 women and a 4-year-old girl shot in Times Square. Just come on.
realize that bad policies have consequences.
I'm afraid that this kind of incidents will scare people away.
Right now at 11, bullets fly in Times Square. Tonight, 3 innocent bystanders, including a child and a tourist, are the latest victims of the city's spike in gun violence.
This guy, should trust him. So we haven't even gotten to, like, you know, I should trust DARPA. I should trust secret military programs that brought us mRNA technology. I should trust Tony Fauci, who's double masking and doesn't want me to shake hands with human beings. That's who I should trust. Okay, so, you know, let's just go back to the capo himself with his great policies. Okay?
The doubtful is a problem unto itself. The youthful is a problem unto itself, and we need to address both separately. You look at the age stratification on the vaccination, it is very clear. 75 plus didn't take it, but I can, as much as 65, but I understand that. I've had a lot of conversations. There's 75 plus, they're anxious about a vaccine, they have other problems they're dealing with. 65 to 74 is the highest population rate, which makes sense when you think about it, and then it goes straight downhill.
And, you know, it does make sense that 65 to 74 is the highest population rate. 1, because it was aimed at that age group. 2, because they were the most highly propagated against and actually highly at risk. 3, they are the ones that are super entranced in propaganda, lies, okay, and media manipulation. What do I mean by that? Well, this year's about to be what? The 20th anniversary of 9/11. Let's do a little basic math. Let's subtract 20 years on that. The 45 to 54-year-olds really failed us. And really, the 45 and over crowd really failed us when it came to 9/11. There were some academics that came out. There were some people that questioned and came to their senses. But overall, that crowd, that establishment crew, completely and totally failed us. So they failed now. They're intellectual cowards now as well.
And the 16 to 25, we're at 24%. So we're at 60% as a population, we're at 24% with 16 to 25. 26 to 34, we're at 35%. That's where we have to get the numbers up. The youthful and the doubtful. The doubtful, I'd say a hardcore 20%.
A hardcore 20%. Let me assure you something. Even in New York State, especially, I mean, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. When you get to the city and you get to that line, you get below and you get to Long Island, you got that 10 million or so people. I'd say you got about 60, 70% brainwashed, right? 60, 70% brainwashed. They've probably got it in there easy, 60, 70%. Upstate, job coercion, fear, the older crowd. I think you got more like a 70% resistance to this. But you're going to take care of that with your SUNY and CUNY mandates. Okay, and you're going to take care of that with that Senate legislation we're going to read.
It's philosophical, it's fear-driven, it's misinformation-driven. But we also have to attack the doubtful problem.
Supercharging the boop rate. Supercharge. And you're going to see it. Build Back Better is going to be right on the screen along with that boop, right? Because it's the foundation, according to Klaus Schwab, of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. And it's on the cover of his book, The Great Reset.
What's the key to supercharging the vaccination rate? eliminate the excuses.
Eliminate the excuse. I mean, look at this gangster shit. Excuses. They're not concerns. Okay? They're not legitimate reasons. They're certainly not the idea that it's your body, your choice, and a medical procedure of any kind is your decision as a human being, and especially as an American citizen. No, no, no. Let's eliminate excuses.
Increase access, and to the doubtful, communicate the facts. You have no factual argument against the vaccine.
You have no factual arguments. So, I'm going to talk about some arguments I'm going to make right now. And we're going to do it live, okay? Because there's two big arguments that I want to make just to anybody that wants to think about this. All I see now are like late night when I'm watching like South Park or something, are ads for things like Discovery. Okay? Oh, Discovery. What's Discovery? Okay, let's click on Discovery. Oh, Step Up, Prep Up. HIV medications. That's weird. What's that? What's the other one I always see? Truvada. Truvada comes in right after Discovery. They're like the whole thing. Another one of these HIV antivirals, right? Here's one of my concerns. It wasn't cleared up to me. Forbes, what is it? Let's just type that in. I don't want to say it. Because we've played this one many times. Now, there was research that some could increase my risk, which is like almost zero. And most of yours is almost zero of the risk of HIV infection. Okay? And then you had false positive HIV in Look at that. They abandoned that trial because of okay, so I have no factual basis to be concerned on that point alone, according to Andrew Capo Cuomo. Right? Listen, let me just say this right now before we go to that. Right there alone, I don't want it in me. I don't want it in my family. I'm very nervous when it comes to that. I don't like the fact that Bayer injected live HIV into hemophiliacs, including children, and never got criminally prosecuted for it in this country, and that most people don't know about it. Okay? So there are my concerns of trust. I'm supposed to trust Big Pharma as well. I'm supposed to trust Johnson & Johnson that's currently in cancer lawsuits. I'm supposed to trust a company like Bayer who buys up Monsanto, while they're being convicted in multiple courts for causing cancer with Roundup. Wow. Well, thank you, Andrew. You've cleared up my concerns. No excuses. Let's supercharge it. And here it comes. Okay? SUNY and CUNY, all the college kids. All the college kids.
So, today, no excuses. SUNY and CUNY boards will require vaccinations for all in-person students coming back to school in the fall. You're a young person, you go to a SUNY school, State University of New York, City University of New York, you must have a vaccine to come back in September.
Now, let me say this right now. Right now. He was talking about the mid-20s to early 30s crowd a moment ago. Okay? When I went to college, when I went to orientation, for instance, I was still 17 years old. Now, we are talking about the 17 to 24-year-old crowd at most, in most cases. And believe me, the pre-17, the preschool crowd is eventually coming via this monster and his authoritarian bullshit. And he is not in jail yet for everything he has caused in this state, and it is disturbing and disgusting.
If you must have a vaccine, get it now if you have to get it anyway. I also encourage private schools to do the same thing.
Oh,
Let's make a global statement. You cannot go back to school in person in September unless you have a vaccine.
he is so delusional that he believes because he's been installed as the capo in New York State that we need a global program for private schools as well.
That will be a major motivation for people to get the vaccine. And if you have to get it by September,
Motivation, you should be suing. Everybody needs lawfare right now. Lawsuits. Lawfare immediately. He is setting up a two-tier system of human beings, and then he's going to have the audacity to flip it on its head. Lawfare. Listen, if you got a little scratch right now, if you got the resources now, you need to pool them, and you need to bring class action lawsuits against any of these universities trying this. Immediately.
you may as well get it now. Why wouldn't you get it now? Okay? Second, there are some situations where people are discriminating against people who got a vaccine.
Now, I'm not a religious man. I'm certainly not a religious man. But the way Satan inverts reality is so Cuomo-esque. I mean, obviously you saw the thumbnail. If you didn't and you joined a little late, I mean, he's got that look. And so after he just laid out a whole plan to segregate an entire adult population of society away from education, okay, because you got to understand, when you talk about SUNY and CUNY, there are so many grants and programs there to get people like me who had no money to go to college. Okay? But not if you don't get your boop. And he's going to say that because some camps with children are concerned maybe about, I don't know, the shedding aspect of any type of boop, or maybe any other concern. Who knows what their concerns are? That they don't want children there who did get it? No, we'll make an executive order. And again, let's go back here. Look how well his executive orders have played out again. They played out pretty good, right? They're pretty awesome.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Moore. We have new video tonight of the moment gunshots rang out around 5 o'clock this evening. In this scene from EarthCam, you see crowds of people running frantically right after the shots were fired. The victims here include a 4-year-old girl from Brooklyn who police say was on a shopping trip with her family to buy toys. She was shot in the leg and was undergoing surgery tonight. A 23-year-old woman from Rhode Island was shot in the leg, and a 43-year-old woman from New Jersey was shot in the foot.
Broad daylight, no problem. This guy is the guy I want to listen to. Okay? It's crazy.
Which is almost inexplicable to me. There's a situation with summer camps saying, if you are vaccinated, you cannot go to that camp. If you're vaccinated, you can't be a staff member at that camp. We can't be in a situation where we're full-throated encouraging people to get a vaccine and then have people saying, if you get a vaccine, you can't participate in this activity.
But you can totally have it the other way around. And we're making it the other way around. And we're using every tool to have it the other way around. Can you believe this? This is nuts.
I want to propose a law that says you can't discriminate against the person who has a vaccine. I understand the anti-vaccine argument very well.
Oh, remember, he understands our argument, right? He understands the argument of not trusting the government. You know, the same one in this country, again, that put Anthony Fauci, Mr. No Handshake, in charge of the whole thing. The same one in this country that still goes against anybody that might suggest anything outside of some wacky wet market hypothesis or bat or pangolin. Maybe people that don't want an anal swab, right? I mean, we're the wacky ones.
We've been through this before,
Oh.
Dr. Zucker and I, when we mandated the measles vaccine a couple of years ago. I understand the anti-vaccine argument.
No, he understands it.
In my opinion, there is no science to it.
Now, in Andrew Cuomo's opinion, he's probably never inappropriately acted in a sexual manner towards anybody. In Andrew Cuomo's opinion, he probably did the right thing by putting old people in nursing homes to get infected. Right? In his opinion, it's probably a great thing that his policies are going through, despite the fact, 4-year-old girls are getting shot in broad daylight.
There is no science to it. You can have a theory, you can have a belief, but you can't use that to make public policy without science and without data.
I mean, the gaslighting on the no science on this when you have like a blank insert. Okay, so here we go. Let's get creative, baby. Let's get creative, Cuomo, huh?
But we also have to start to get creative because you are seeing this all across the nation. And we're good in New York at getting creative. We are very creative types. Here's the creative idea. Wednesday to Sunday, we're offering vaccines at Subway, LIRR, and Metro North hubs. Get a shot and take a free ride on the MTA.
So let's just recap. Think about it. In New York, if you play your cards right now, this one, by the way, this is the goodie. This is the one boop boop. You don't even need a double one. We're going to get you one time, but don't worry. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Don't worry. There'll be booster boop boops later like Bill Gates told you. Okay, we'll do a whole Bill Gates video tomorrow and all the scandals, but we're going to save this one for Andrew Capo Cuomo, okay? You're going to get your 7-day Metro card, right? Now, you could have got your Krispy Kreme donut, maybe a burger. How about a free Yankees or Mets ticket? But now it's a 7-day Metro card on us. Well, thank you, Mr. Capo.
You get a free 7-day Metro card for everyone vaccinated at a subway station, and LIRR, Metro North, 2 free one-way trips anywhere in the service area.
Whoa!
It's Johnson & Johnson, so it's one shot. So think about this. You are walking into the subway station anyway. You are walking past the vaccination site. It's a one-shot vaccination. Stop, take a few minutes, get the vaccine, and then you get the incentive of a 1-week unlimited Metro card if you do it at a subway station, or free tickets, Long Island Railroad, Metro North. Why wouldn't you do it? No excuse.
No excuse.
You're walking there anyway. It's Johnson & Johnson, one shot. You don't have to schedule a second shot. You don't have to go back to that station. And you have a financial incentive.
So now they're going to lay out all the nice little places. Now I want you to, isn't it lovely? They got a nice little graphic, a little boop, bop, bop, boop, bop, boop, 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 bop needle, right? Just, hey, giving you the times, because it's going to be 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on somebody. Yeah, I get it. Some of you work a little later. We got you covered. 3 p.m., 8 p.m. Get in there, baby. I mean, my goodness.
These are the places where we're going to be starting this. These are major hubs: Ossining on Metro North, East 180th in the Bronx, Grand Central Station, Penn Station, Coney Island, Broadway Junction, Hempstead, Long Island, 179th Street, Jamaica. That's my old stop, 179th
Oh,
Street, Jamaica.
good for you,
Which is
Andrew.
far east
Oh,
as the subway goes
great.
in Queens.
Good to know.
Different times, because we want to see what time frame works the best, what stations work the best. There's a theory that people are going to be rushed in the morning and they're not going to want to stop in the morning, that they're more likely to stop in the evening on the way home. So we have a lot of theories. We're going to test them, see how it works, see what the receptivity rate is, and then we can adjust. But it is a creative idea. We're trying many creative ideas because we have to get that vaccination rate up. And in this situation, we've always handled this as a community.
Have we? And then look, everyone, thank you for not giving me a choice in my health or my family's health, or allowing me to think that I should let my neighbors and anybody who's a human being have that choice, Andrew. Thank you so much. I'm awesome. Thank you.
Everyone should be doing everything they can to get people vaccinated. That's what mayors should be doing and county executives should be doing. That's what the religious community should be doing. That's what sports teams should be doing. As far as I'm concerned, we all have one goal.
Oh, as far as he's concerned. And you know what? I remember when, as far as Hitler was concerned, he wanted to make the Reich great again, right? He wanted to build a third Reich, as far as Hitler concerned. And, he was concerned that he wanted to regimate all human beings with kind of like this New World Order thing I've been hearing so much about. The will of the people, one vision, one concern. I don't know. Just kind of came to mind. I don't know.
Get people vaccinated. And that brings us to the Islanders. Congratulations to the Islanders.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
They're a great New York team. We're building a new arena with the Islanders out at Belmont. We were out there a couple of weeks ago, John, myself, and a few others. It is going to be amazing, really an amazing arena. And before we open the new arena, they have now clinched a playoff spot. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow for that playoff game. Home games are at the Nassau Coliseum. 50% of the tickets will be sold to vaccinated people.
I mean, think about this. He just talked about a two-tier society, right? He's going to take executive action about people not being able to get jobs or not being able to have their kids around other kids in certain areas. Probably private business decisions, especially when you're talking about children in camps, that those people, that the parents of those kids are into, right? And then you're going to say, well, we're only going to sell half the tickets to them, and they have to go 3 feet away from each other, and everyone's still going to wear masks, right? Meanwhile, in Texas, Canelo Alvarez just fought in front of 75,000 people. 75,000 people. Not many people wearing masks. What do you think the boop rates in Texas are compared to, here? Think about that through pretty hard. But let's keep going, because we're less than a minute away from building back better, folks.
And the rule then will be for the vaccinated section 3 feet distancing. 50% of the sales to the unvaccinated people, 6 foot distancing.
Oh.
Everybody wears a mask. My point to business owners, sports, concerts, etc., the more vaccinated people, actually the higher the capacity, because they only have a 3 foot distance requirement.
Oh.
So it's actually increasing capacity to get people vaccinated.
Isn't that great?
But
He's getting creative.
the playoffs start the end of May. Tickets will go on sale tomorrow. The Islanders needed to set guidance, and they had to do it cleared by our health commissioner, Dr. Zucker.
Yeah, again, everything's an authoritarian dictate. It's his opinion because he believes the science. This guy is as gangster as it gets. And by the way, over 200 people watching. We don't even have 100 likes for this thing. We got to get this information out to people. We haven't even read the bill yet. Because when he starts talking about building back better, and he's done with that crap and that garbage and that repackaged New World Order agenda, that Agenda 201, right? Or 201. I keep saying, oh, it's Agenda 2030 now, right? And I confuse that with Event 201 because, you know, right in your face also, okay? But this is Agenda 21 is what they called it before they called it Agenda 2030. And these guys and these gals and really capos and demons like this person right here want to regiment every aspect of your human life and use language like this. No excuses. One goal. It's all just medical martial law tyranny wrapped in a new type of social credit score authoritarianism where we are crushed. We are crushed as a people. Take this very seriously. And you know, I've had my jokes, folks. I've danced around, but there's no dancing around this issue. There are 20 million people in that state. 20 million, many of whom I love. Many of whom I love.
And that's what they're going to do. So congratulations to the Islanders. Last point, remember the goal of all of this? Remember the big picture? Vaccinate New Yorkers and then build New York back better than before. We are not going to have gone through the hell that we went through just to restore what we had. I'm not doing that. New Yorkers are not doing that. The house was demolished. We're not going to build back the same house. We're going to build back a better house. We have federal funds. We're going to take this as a pivot moment for New York. We weren't perfect the day before COVID. We weren't. So don't say we're going to rebuild what we had because the day before COVID, that was nirvana. No. Recognize where we were the day before COVID. Recognize the problems and use this as an opportunity to improve.
I want to go back just a second from where it was, let's see, cleaner, which means more restrictions on your movement. Okay, everything's going to be more expensive. Fairer, which means, you know, this city that's already filled with all sorts of social programs and actual welfare, UBI's coming. Safer? Did it look safer in New York in those clips I just showed you? Did it? Did it? Let me show you what building back better really means. Let's read it top to bottom. Okay? Top to bottom right now. They vote on this tomorrow. Okay? In the Senate. An act to amend the public health law in relation to adult immunization reporting requirements. You used to have a right to your own medical records. They're taking it away. They want it gone. This is it. This is it. Okay? Any healthcare provider who administers any boop-boop to a person 19 years of age or older shall report all such immunizations to the department in a format prescribed by the commissioner within 14 days of administration of such boop-boops. Of those immunizations. I mean, what? Like, I hate using the language, but you know how this goes. Healthcare providers administering immunizations to persons 19 years of age or older in the city of New York shall report in a format prescribed by the City of New York Commissioner of Health and Mental Hygiene all such immunizations to the citywide immunization registry. I love registries, especially about my medical records. It's a great idea. The reporting by a healthcare provider of administration of an immunization to a person 19 years of age or older to a regional health information organization or other health information exchange. Oh, what exchanges could those be? Excelsior, Kobe Pass, I don't know. Shall satisfy the reporting requirements in this section if such data is proved by regional health information organization or health information exchanges to the Department of Citywide Immunization Registry. Love registries. A registered professional nurse or a pharmacist who administers a boop pursuant to subdivision 2 of the section 6801 of the education law to a person 19 years of older shall report all such immunizations to the department in a format prescribed within 14 days. Okay? Do you see it here? It's all here. And again, mental hygiene. It's just the same exact thing again and again and again. And this is madness. You need to call your representatives if you live in New York because they're voting on it. They're voting on it. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow. So guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe and share. Join the Burmese Brigade if you're new. We've been pretty stuck here, as people know. We just hit 100 thumbs. I'd love to get 200 thumbs before you go. But make that free Rockfin account right now. Like I said, let's see if they actually let me put it in the YouTube live stream. I don't know if they're going to. I hope they do because it's a Play Store app. But now you can get the app right there. I think it came up. I put it in there. And there it is. All right, so you can get the app. Now you can't miss me. You should be able to get notifications. If you're a premium subscriber, you get everybody's stuff. It's like a Netflix for creators. It's a great tool. Whitney Webb's on there. Slow News Day, Action for Assange, Graham Elwood, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, people like my boy John Fitch. I really love John Fitch Knows Nothing. Something different, right? Something different. So check that all out. And then again, if you didn't check out, or you did just check it out over on YouTube, you missed a lot. You missed a lot of the Faucian nuttiness out there. So, look, I hate doing videos like this, but this is a reality. We got a capo, basically laughing at us and doing some bad things. Guys, I love you. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. Stand up, New York. Now's your last chance.